very commendable feat. We are into picks and bans, guys. Of course, we want to jump into this real quick. No delays whatsoever. Right now, we see Rumble and Thresh banned out by NYP, and it's going to be the Akali targeted at Raven. ITE Central striking first with a very, very targeted ban here.
Yeah, and you know what? It's 9.14. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
We've seen Aatrox for 90% of our games.
Right.
No more Aatrox. We have seen something new here. The Rumble ban actually very important here because we have actually seen Rumble earlier today on a game not streamed, of course, but the Rumble actually did quite well. So I think it does deserve a ban here. Very good ban from NYP.
Yeah, to give some context, of course, guys, games have been going on for quite a while. Today, we are only picking a couple of games to stream because the format is a round robin in the group stages. There's Group A, Group B, so we picked the best games, you know, taster's choice right now for you guys to probably catch up on. Jumping back into picks and bans, we do see the Sejuani being hovered, and the first pick Sejuani is kind of interesting here because it is Shinsekai in the jungle, and that's not really his wheelhouse, right? So the Karma locked in is the option here for Kralix in the top lane.
Yeah, the real question here is, you know, Karma is still a flex pick. I think it's one of the more viable ones in this current patch. As we know, a lot of the flex picks in previous patches have been nerfed. So Karma here can go top, mid, or support, but most likely here, yeah, probably in the top lane.
Yeah, not to mention you're talking about flex picks with Aatrox being removed. There's still the option of, you know, champions like Nico, Aurelia, all still open. Definitely available for the taking, but in response, it's going to be Sejuani Kai'Sa locked in here. AD carry pool, relatively open, but an early Kai'Sa pick showing their hand now. ITE College Central very open with what their strategy is going to be here.
Yeah, but the real interesting here that I want to draw attention to is the Sejuani. We've seen Sejuani a lot in, you know, the previous games, like I was talking about earlier. I'm actually not quite sure why the sudden pivot to this tank jungler. Of course, she does a lot of damage, she can tank up a lot, but I think there are other picks that, you know, teams playing this kind of style here can, you know, go for, like the Lee Sin of the Lees. Yeah,
the Jarvan is also an option that was left open, but with the Sejuani locked in, the immediate response from NYP is like, well, that's a big ultimate, right? Glacial Prison is a massive tool. We want to have Silas on our side now to be able to capitalize on that. So they're going to lock that in the jungle. It should be for Shinsekai here. He's played that earlier today. We saw on the picks and bans. It's going to be the Lucian for Scarlet Petal, who is no stranger to that champion.
Yep, absolutely. But on the other side, we see they're going for a Glacial comp here. Gotta insert my mandatory TFT joke of the
Glacial
day.
comp. Three glacials or two is enough?
I think it's two.
Two?
Yeah. That's not the game we're playing here.
Right. So they do get the Braum for themselves, and wow, it's a really quick pick and ban here. Immediately moving on to the second phase of bans. Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to highlight Camille and Aurelia on both sides. Removed.
Yep, taking away those high impact, you know, skirmish champions. The Zoe also being Zoe also being removed.
Right.
Oh boy, the champion. But also the Vladimir, so we're really taking away all those, you know, champions that have big potential.
Right.
I think both teams are going to go for the team fight style. As you said, very quick picks and bans. Both teams know what they want out of this picks and bans, and they're going for it.
Yeah, the Aatrox being covered here is going to be interesting. We saw ITCC play earlier today, but just to remind our viewers, this is 9.14, and we've seen some significant nerfs to Aatrox, primarily the removal of his resurrection. There's no more revival. Granted, and I were joking about this in our, you know, rank 5 games. He's no longer Aatrox, he's like Boris now, right? It's new identity, completely different from Aatrox at the start. There's no there's no more revival, so he's this sort of literal go in, no exit champion.
No, man, he's not Aatrox, he's Riven.
Oh, he's Riven now. He's Riven now. 3 Qs and 8 dash. The immediate counter pick here from Kralix is going to be the Fiora, and the Pike here for Christ. Saw some Pike changes in 9.14. You get a lot more gold when you get your out off, so it's going to mean good things for NYP coming in, but overall their composition seems to be very short range. Not very good at sieging, but very good at skirmishing.
Yeah, and if you have the Fiora, then you can definitely go for the 1-4. That's definitely an option. If Fiora gets a hit, it's going to be very difficult for the nerfed Aatrox to sort of answer that.
Right.
Corki coming in as the last pick here, as we've been discussing earlier, it's now a Corki Azir meta.
It is, right? And against the Karma in the mid lane, it's a pretty free laning phase, considering that Corki doesn't get all too much pressure early on. He can just, you know, sit in lane, clear the waves out, wait for that 2-item power spike in the form of the Trade Force and the IE, and then you can start taking these fights. And we've seen Corkis get to that point where it miss out, you know, the big one does so much damage in these team fights.
Yeah, and if you have to be very aware of, you know, the package, because once Corki gets that, he can just go anywhere on the map, try to make a play at the bot lane, get himself an advantage, and then you're like suddenly how do I play against this?
Right. How do I deal with the flanking Corki that divides the back line? Looking at the compositions now, I want to poke your brain a little and just get your insight on this, because I quite favor ITECC's composition. There's a good amount of crowd control, there's a good front line for the Corki Kai'Sa, and very good tools to be able to allow the Kai'Sa to jump to the back line with the killer instinct. So overall, their comp looks to make sense to me. It's something that has a very small margin for error. It's something you can play with very well.
Yeah, but the issue here is when you have 2, maybe 3 tanky champions, you really have to rely on your 2 carries. So if they get behind, that's gonna be a very big issue.
Right.
So protect your Corki, protect your Kai'Sa, let them carry you in the late game. But on the other side, yeah, we see a lot of supportive champions, but of course you have the Fiora, Sylas, and the Lucian.
Yeah.
Triple threat here, they all can do tons of damage.
And you have the Karma and Pike to sort of provide the assistance and give them the support that they need, no pun intended. That being said, you mentioned the option of a 1-4. I'm interested to see how this Fiora Aatrox matchup pans out, because historically it's been very Fiora-sided, right? Now with the removal of the revive on Aatrox, it feels like it's even worse for the Aatrox player in the side lane.
Yeah, well, if Kralix can hit his riposts, that's not going to be a very fun lane for the Aatrox.
Fun fact though, it's been Shinsekai actually in the past that has been this Fiora one-trick, the expert Fiora player. Wondering if Kralix took some tips from his teammate here, considering that, they are playing on the same team on Resurgence. So interesting to see that it's going to be the Resurgence jungler here in the top lane, and a bit of a lane swap coming in. But all in all, NYP looks to have a very decent draft on their side.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, like, I think the main thing that I'm looking at here is that Lucian and Pike against the Kai'Sa Braum. Because if the Pike can land his Qs, that is a kill lane to be very afraid of.
Yeah, I'm just curious how Scarlet Petal and Christ played this one out, because in our pre-game sort of analysis, we were talking about the idea of skill checks and mechanical matchups, right? NYP by far, as a 5-man roster, individually, player to player, they're better than ITCC squad. I can say that with no doubt in my mind, right? Yeah. ITCC now, when you talk about that, playing these 2v2 lanes, Kai'Sa Braum, you have to be very careful with how you space, how you stand in lane, what your position is like. I would think that NYP definitely have the handle on this one.
Yeah, it's like a 90% to 10. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
No BM, right? No
BM.
No BM.
It's just the objective truth. No, not truth, but my opinion, I guess.
The objective fact. Your analysis.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you cast your mind back to the qualifiers, I think ITECC has shown that they can hit that level where they can play competitively against NYP here. The main thing that they focused on is macro play and, looking for those early team fights.
My 2 favorite words, macro play. And to add on to your point, I'm a color caster as well. I've watched Resurgence a lot, as a local team that's competed in LST and all these tournaments. Macro play is not their strong suit. Spoken to a lot of pro players about this in the scene, and they feel like Resurgence as a team, as a part of their character, they always make the same mistakes. When it comes to macro play. Spoke to a lot of the players from other teams about this, Malaysian players and Indonesian players, and they all feel like Resurgence individually good, mechanics strong, just not good as 5 men on the map. To link back to this game, 4 members of 3 members of the Resurgence squad is NYP right now, right? So that begs the question mark: can they play up to that macro level and defeat ITCC when it comes to the map play?
If they're picking the Fiora top, I think they have to do it.
Yeah, they probably might have to. And we are into the loading screen. Should be jumping the game relatively soon, guys. Apologies for any delay on the stream. Of course, we are sort of figuring out the logistics for today as it stands. Though we are still on track, hoping to keep to schedule. And the next game should be a zinger as well. We're not really sure what we're going to stream right now because, as we heard, SI might be facing some technical issues. So if they do not come back online, we might be looking at an RP NYP second game for today. But right now, we are on the Rift, guys. On the red side, it's going to be ITE College Central. On the blue side, it's going to be NYP, and Shinsekai aggressively moves forward into the river.
Yep, very standard pathing for both these teams right here. They just want to make sure that there's no monkey business going on in the river. Both teams currently just staying on their side of the map. Raven's going to be spotted out here by Remove, though.
Meanwhile, Lamianso coming in for the assist and Pirate Q for the slow as well. It's going to be a good chunk of damage onto the Corki, but Look at his keystone. It's going to be fleet footwork. So the sustain is going to be there for him in lane, but backing off entirely with the recall is Lamia and Soul. Meanwhile, no aggressive vision being placed just yet by NYP, but two very safe forts put down along the bot half of the map by IT's College Central.
Yeah, you gotta be worried about the karma damage, especially in the early game. Can be a little unexpected, just chunk you for a quarter of your health.
But that's the trade-off, right? Because she doesn't have a level 6 power spike a la any other champion in the game. Corki at level 6 gets access to the Missile Barrage, whereas Karma's, she just gets a slightly stronger Q, W, and E.
Yeah, not much to say about the map right now. Both teams taking the standard start on their red buffs.
Interesting though that Remove started on the top side, pathing towards bot lane to end his route. Meanwhile, Shinsekai is going to be focused on getting Fiora the backup that she needs, pathing towards the top side. In fact, going for Crux first to do a full clear on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, take a look at Fiora's actually pushing up a little bit because of the Aatrox going to leash. Maybe that bodes for a little bit of a early cheese gang from Sejuani.
Pings on the map does indicate that she might be privy to this. Oh man, look at that Lucian skin. This is the Demacian Vice Lucian. I haven't seen anyone use it just yet, but Scarlet Petal is rolling in the RP, so he does pick it up for himself. Meanwhile, trades coming in, level 2 has been picked up. Top side damage coming in as well. Kralix has hit level 2, but Shuaran is only level 1, so with the advantage, he's going to be able to chunk him out. Like you mentioned, Scarlet Petal and Christ playing very aggressively here, knowing that they can hit their marks mechanically.
Yeah, I mean, Fiora probably, I mean, the Aatrox is probably going to need this Sejuani come up sooner rather than later. Having been chunked for more than half his health before he's even hit level 2, I mean, that is not how you want to start off your lane, is it?
Still though, keeping pretty competitive in terms of CS is Shuaran Doramin in the top side. Meanwhile, damage coming in the mid lane, the root and the Q coming in. A good deal of damage being done by Raven thus far. On the board so far though, NYP is still leading in terms of CS.
They're leading in terms of health as well. Both these teams not, they're both very eager to test each other out, take those small trades and, push the buttons here and there. Right now, NYP is just coming up on top in that regard. Right. But Aatrox actually healing up quite well here.
So look at this, a very preemptive roam up from Raven as well. Shinsekai, you can see that Shuaran has overextended. He's taking this fight. I don't think he wants to be here. He's not really knowledgeable about this gang coming in just yet. Infernal Chains will be landed, and here comes the damage in, and a first blood picked up by Kralix. We were talking about the focus on this Fiora lane, and boy is it paying off right now. Kralix with a huge lead early on.
Yeah, and now Aatrox is actually significantly, well, not significantly, quite behind, but we do see a gank here from Remove trying to see if he can, balance out that advantage in the bot lane, but no, he's just gonna get chased away.
Yeah, you can't pull a fast one over Scarlet Petal. He knew that with his jungler on the top side, it would have been Sejuani on the bot, so they wisely back off, sending a big wave into the turret and now playing a bit more safely. Christ will be caught out here, uses the Unbreakable, Momochi keeping his distance. Backing off with the stand behind me, and this should go back to status quo in the bot lane.
Yeah, Momochi a little bit overextended to, ward that bush. Could have been worse.
Bone Skewer sailing by, not really finding his target. Christ taking a bit of damage for his efforts there. The wave is going to be pushing in though, so this is a small window. Oh, great dash there to get rid of the ward. And now they have complete control. Here comes David Scott, the early flash from Lamian, so to get out of that one. Early skirmishing from both sides, extremely aggressive and starting to pay off.
Yeah, you can see here NYP, the RSG player, is actually very happy to take some ganks. The Silas has been very active on the map. That's something I like to see.
Bot lane, here comes the Unbreakable once more. Momochi has been doing a fantastic job keeping his AD carry safe. Shinsekai once more to the top side. Here we go. He's spaced out using the auto attack, the Kingslayer and the Absconded Duck to get the damage down, but Kralix isn't in range to land anything. Bit of a poor follow-up there from Kralix and a gank that could have been confirmed. Nevertheless, still, Shuaran gets away with both his summer spells intact. We'll be backing off here.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to use that TP if he wants to have any sort of chance in, going even in this lane right now. So that's TP advantage. Well, no.
He's just, yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm blind. But yeah, he's going to use his TP. That's going to be a bit of a disadvantage for ITECC.
The good news is that Kralix is going to have his teleport up earlier, so at least that avails him to hit the bottom side of the map if he wants to. There's going to be a bit of a discrepancy there. Still, Kralix still doing a good deal of damage onto Shuaran. Meanwhile, Infernal Chain is going to pull him back. He's still trying to go in with those lunges.
Yeah, you can tell they are RSG. NYP. Sorry,
Habit.
Habit. NYP, they know that the Aatrox is weak right now. They know the Fiora can beat him and push that lead. That's why Shinsekai has been hanging out at this top lane so much. They want to put the Aatrox behind, they want to push that lead. And the real question right now is whether or not Remove wants to go to that top lane to answer that, or look for an advantage in the bot lane.
You're talking about the jungler of ITE College Central. He hasn't been doing all too much this game. So far, has felt some impact in the bot lane, but really not getting any summer spells or ganks off just yet. He is sporting a level advantage, and just as I say that, he's heading to the top side. Level 5 doesn't have the Chilling Smite just yet, so there's no additional CC, but Shuaren's going to land the damage, and here goes Kralix for the 1v1. He's taking this fight. Inferno Chains, the Repulse is going to negate the damage, but Inferno Chains drag him back. Meanwhile, the stun coming in from Remove. This should be a kill, unless Kralix can play this one out, but not enough damage to do so. Shuaren is going to get the kill credit, and finally, Remove punishes Kralix for playing aggressively on the top side.
Yeah, very good from Remove here, coming up, recognizing that there is a disadvantage in the top lane and rectifying that as quickly as possible. That being said, though, the Aatrox is still severely behind in CS and therefore gold, but he might be able to pull back some of that with his ability to take the CS here and some tower plating.
Yeah, it's a 300 gold lead right now for Kralix, but I'm just going to draw your attention to the map because Bone Skewer is being channeled up. It's going to hook the Braum back in, and the Deep Water Dive is going to stun him up. Here comes the Abscond Duck, and the damage is done. Scarlet Petal is going to claim the kill, and Inferno Drake should definitely be on the board next.
Yep, Shinsekai here really making his presence known all over the map. First he gets an advantage in top lane, now he goes to bot lane to give them an advantage as well. Right now, we actually might see both junglers.
Oh man, Levitate, see ya buddy.
Okay, alright, sure. I don't know what happened there other than it's just a bit of overconfidence and staying too much.
I'm going to give you credit, Spoots, because you called this in the pick and ban phase. The fact that Scarlet Petal and Christ are definitely going to hit their marks on the bottom side, knowing that this is a matchup that they can take, is starting to make the impact a bit more pronounced in terms of this early game status.
And the real issue here, right, was that Levitate did not respect it. He still tried to come up for CS. It's a mistake that we often see in AD carries, really. But when you're going against the Pike Lucian, you don't want to stay if your support's not there.
Right, turning our attention to the top side, Kralix picking up a very early Executioner's Calling, knowing that he needs to reduce the healing coming from Shuaren. Aatrox is having a terrible day thus far.
Yeah, Big ol' left 20 CS behind already. He wasn't even able to take any turret plating earlier. So,
big oof, man. Big oof.
Yep.
Taking stock of the situation, goal lead for NYP now is 2,000. It's a solid amount. It's something that they're desperately going to need as they enter the mid-game stages. Remember, we're talking about NYP being a skirmish, split push team when it comes to how they're going to play the map. They're going to need that goal lead to get a hit. The post coming in, going to block the Inferno Chains.
Yep. And earlier we did talk about ITE ECC being that macro team.
Right.
But I think one thing that we failed to highlight is that their macro focus is towards the early game. And right now, if you're 2k behind, you don't really have that advantage going into the mid game. So it's really just going to add more and more pressure onto them. They have to make something happen very soon. If not, they're just going to be sitting at too big a deficit to climb.
Yeah, the patience being shown here. I like what you're talking about, in terms of keeping competitive. Oh, Kralix here. Yeah, I like what you're talking about in terms of keeping competitive, because if you want to play the map, you got to enter that sort of phase of the game with a competitive amount of goal, right? You can't be like 5-6k behind and hope to win these fights. So they still have to keep relative somehow. Meanwhile, 3 members sitting here in this death rush, not really going to get spotted out because there is a control ward there, but what is their level of patience here? How long are they planning to wait to secure that kill is the question.
Look at the bot lane wave. If the bot lane wave is pushed up that much, what are you doing waiting in that bush?
They should have just went for the dragon. I think that might have been the better choice right now. They're still waiting and they're still waiting. But Levitate is going to be able to walk out of this. I think they were waiting to bait out the dragon, in fact, hoping that someone would have checked it. But there is a ward in the pit, so no one was getting food there.
Yep. Right, the real question mark I have here is, what is Remove doing? He has to be more... A gank in the bot lane, come on, come on.
Yep, here we go. The gank coming in, a lot of damage down already. A Bone Skewer and a great Glacial Fissure to separate the backline. Glacial Prison has been stolen and Momochi is going to be executed here by Christ. He still has the reset, he's going for one more. The stun not really connecting, but Levitate is the target now. It's going to be a double kill for the Pike. Possibly a triple coming in. Shinsekai missing the Abscond Duck, but Raven is going to get the kill credit for the third. And now NYP 6-1 on the board looking for this bot tier 1.
I don't want to be Captain Killjoy here, but game over.
Game over, says Spoots.
I mean, It's a common pattern here. NYP is just steamrolling over the previous games as well. Really, how the real question here is how many more minutes you want to give this?
How many? Wow. All right. They get a lot of gold here off the turret plays, and Scarlet Petal is 2-0-3. So this is looking a bit dire, like you said, for ITE College Central. In terms of individual skill and mechanical checks, it looks like the NYP squad is coming out ahead, and now they're gonna get the Inferno Dragon in their back pocket as well. Recalling, and So now getting targeted down. A Q is gonna give him the solo kill. Oh man, Raven, that is disgusting. You can't do that on stream.
Right, and as we focus on Remove here, I think I want to talk about him as well, because like I was trying to say earlier, the real question mark was, why isn't Remove doing more? If you want to get your early game team ahead, you have to gank more. I think that's a logical equation.
Speaking of gank though, Riposte used very early from the Fiora, but no ultimate from Remove just yet. He's flashing forward, Shuaren trying to land the CC that's required to give him the kill, but Kralix with the speed boost is going to be able to get out. The grand challenge was more than enough, and he's going back in. He won seconds. Kralix looking a bit thirsty for this kill. Off the back, there's 3 members from NYP just hovering here, and they're coming for the counter gank. Oh man, you sent a Sejuani to kill our top laner. Guess what? We're gonna send 3 members to finish you off. That's gonna be a kill for Shinsekai, and now they're turning their attention towards the top side of the map.
Yep, more turret plating for the Lucian incoming. I don't think the Aatrox's gonna be able to get up there in time to stop him, and Sejuani's just gonna take his red buff because that's been pretty much what he's doing all day.
There's nothing for him to take on the map right now, Spoots. There is literally nothing they can take.
He should have ganked more. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I can feel the salt from here. Like, Jungle Gap needs to gank more. Sejuani never do anything in the early game. Look at the gold difference between the junglers. It's 1,000 gold, and in the mid lane it's 1,400. Jeez.
There's not much for me to say here. Yeah.
Christ landing the stun, not really getting the kill though, so a bit of a wasted ultimate.
If you're running the Pyke at this point, you just want to see how much gold you can give your carry.
They're looking towards the top side, Remove getting skewered in Shinsekai, and Christ taking this fight 2v2, but the stun on the Shinsekai is good. A bit of a mistimed dive coming here, but Scarlet Petal joining the fight should make this an unfair one. It's Scotland and Duck not available just yet for Shinsekai. He's going to be throwing rockets in, but a bit of dissuasion from the recall is all it's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, earlier even in that fight, Shuaren didn't really want to go, and he was like, Sejuani, are you sure you want to do this right now?
I could almost see the chat, like, Remove is just like, why is no one joining me? And Shuaren's like, ping, no, just question mark and danger pings.
Yeah, just a bit of question marks for the decision making, like you said. Actually, let's talk about the qualifiers again, because I think I remember saying this very clearly.
Right.
Remove lost the game on Sejuani. I think the quote I said afterwards was, "Is it time to remove Sejuani from Remove?"
Oof.
And I think that applies here as well.
Right.
I don't think his decision making has been the best this game.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Not throwing any shade, just objectively speaking, he hasn't had the impact that Shinsekai has had on this Silas. Meanwhile, on the bot side, a lot of damage coming down. He's flashing away, and the killer instinct should be enough. But meanwhile, getting the kill and the heal. Oh man, this turnaround. Jesus. Levitate running away now. Christ looking for the Bone Skewer to finish him off. Deep Water Dive should be up in a couple of seconds. There you go. Phantom Undertow might be enough to finish him off, and there you go. The Phantom Undertow and the Bone Skewer to get the kill. Remove now in a bit of a sticky situation, but Lami and Soul coming to back him up. 11-1 is the kill score, and ladies and gentlemen, 8k ahead is NYP.
Yeah, I think, okay, I've been talking a lot about Sejuani, but I think it's time we talk about the team as a whole. NYP here has been doing actually pretty good macro going up against ITE. Their roams have been crisp, and they know where they have to be at all times on the map.
They get the kill on the bot side, and now they're turning their sights towards the Sejuani. Scarlet Petal flashing away. The Glacial Prison not really gonna land on anyone, but here comes Christ. He's here for the backup, using the culling to power the damage on. Momochi is gonna block majority of it, but in the end, it's gonna be nothing done on the bot side. A 1v1 solo kill in the mid lane for Raven. He's looking for the second here. He has 3 members behind him. Raven gets the double. He's looking to get out. The stun though is gonna finish him off, but meanwhile, Christ gets the kill credit for Shuaren on the bottom half of the jungle. NYP just steamrolling over CC here.
Yep. Even though they get the shutdown goal, the deficit is now 9k. Real question is what can they do here, really?
Popping the referral and looking to claim bot tier 2 as well. Yeah, that is the question. I think the answer at this point is a resounding nothing. There is literally nothing that they can do from stopping NYP from rolling over them.
Yeah, I don't want to flame them so much because NYP is just that good of a team, really. I don't think that there is much of a match here. NYP is just going to steamroll them and possibly everyone else in this tournament at this point.
I want to call to memory the discussion we're having during Picks and Bans about how this is a two-threat composition, right? Oh, hold on. Remove. Sweeper's going to spot him. Oh man, the bullet skewer catches him and Abscon and Duck not really going to find anything. There's a bit of a Jaws moment there, but luckily the Sejuani gets out. And I want to call to memory.
Yep.
We were talking about this during Picks and Bans about how this is a two-threat composition. ITE College Central need to get the Corki and Kaisa a hit. 0-3, 0-4, not looking too good, and now they're looking to take this fight at the Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, they can't really contest this other than maybe a steal, I guess.
Using the package to get out, but Corki already taking a lot of damage. Here comes the resets from Chrysler. Meanwhile, the fight is split on two fronts. Remove has been CC'd up. Raven is funneling them away, and here comes the teleport from Shuwarin to land the space that they need. A double kill here. Looking for the triple. Christ wants the Quadra. He's looking for it here. The Quadra and maybe the Penta. Oh man, Christ, you are nasty.
That was,
ladies and gentlemen, NYP coming out guns blazing. 3-0 looks to be the kill score here as they move forward, and Christ leading the charge for his team. Let's take a look at this replay. It's split on multiple fronts. Talk me through this, Boots.
Okay, you can see that, Karma's gonna come down from the top side. She's just over there hammering away with her Qs. It actually adds up to a lot of damage, which really just sets up the ability for the Pyke to come in, hit those resets, boom, 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 pentakill.
Yeah, it's the second and the third, and you could see here Scarlet Petal is kiting away. He's like calling for it, wanting the Penta. Christ, with the Pengu dab. Oh man, NYP finishing and just styling on their opponents right now.
Yep, I mean if you're the Pyke here, you're just happy because your team just set it up for you, really.
That's the dream Pyke scenario. Look at the amount of gold. He has the second most or third most gold on the team right now. 9-0 and 4. And the large majority of the gold he's given to his team is making him so competitive as well.
Yep, this is like your 1 in 100 Pyke game. Because other than that, he's just siphoning goals from you by taking solo kills from your laners. So yeah, I think if you're the team here, you're pretty happy. If you're the Pyke, you're pretty happy as well.
NYP smiles on their faces is the situation right now. They should all be very, very happy where the game is going. 18.5 minutes in, the goal lead has climbed to an insurmountable 14k. I think if you're ITCC now, what's the best choice of action? How do you deal with this moving forward in the tournament?
Go next.
Go next?
I mean, okay.
Untilt yourself, go next?
Yeah, turn off your brain right now. Just finish this match. You don't want to BM by FFing.
Right.
So yeah, just turn off your brain. This match didn't happen. We go into the next game. Alright, we're still undefeated. Give us that kind of mentality.
Right.
Even though we're not undefeated.
Play like you're undefeated, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing you can do here, really.
As of now, I think, yeah, ITE Central gonna have to do that. Maybe take a mental reset, go for a small break, get some coffee.
Worst thing that can happen is mental boom at this stage.
And this is a long day of games, right? You never want a mental boom this early on. Top tier 2 is gonna fall, and meanwhile Kralix taking the bare brunt of the focus on the bottom side, using the dash to get away. The lunges are coming in, but the Killer Instinct from Levitate should be able to finish this one off, flashing away, trying to create some distance between the AD carrier himself, but the flash from Levitate and the auto gets the kill. And 5-1, not exactly enough to put the Kaisa in a competitive position.
Yeah.
Still, it's a small respite in the lapse of things.
Bit of a mistake here for NYP though. They could have pressed the advantage by taking, a bit of health off the towers, but no, instead they bring the Silas into the bot lane, give up all that pressure that the Fiora could have given them, because ITECC, they had to commit 3 members to taking him down. You could have taken so much with that advantage, but no, you sent the Silas into the bot lane. That's a little questionable for me.
And these are the small mistakes I think that NYP or Resurgence as a team tends to make sometimes. When, you play a 1-4, and I've seen this happen multiple times, in fact, when they play, major tournaments. They play a 1-4 split push or 1-3-1, and they, despite getting so much pressure on the side lanes, decide to commit to collapsing. And they could have, as you mentioned, taken top side, they could have taken Baron. There are so many things that could have been open. But instead, they choose to go to the bottom half, and they neglect any advantage that they could have picked up for themselves. In the jungle right now, it's going to be Raven that's focused out, remove, chasing him down. 4-1 and 8 is the score in the Karma, the Athene's Unholy Grail, as well as the Loon's Echo.
NYP here is setting up the Baron. If they are unable to break the base with this Baron, I think we have to call into question their macro again, like you said.
But this is a sorely needed Baron buff because look at their composition. It's not adept at sieging as well as you want it to be. Lucian, very low range, very dangerous for him to walk up and take the turret. So, of course, they're going to need this buff to help them smoothen things out. Gonna find Lame and Soul here. Abscond and Duck not gonna catch him, and he's gonna be able to Valkyrie out.
Here's an alternative though to the Baron buff, and hear me out. How about this?
1-4 split push?
No. You go in, you kill them all, and then you win the game. But at this point, you can't.
Yeah,
just
that is
do
true.
That.
You can't just do that. They are far ahead to do so, and throwing the missiles in. A bit hesitant is NYP. They're creating pressure on the bottom side in the form of Kralik split pushing, but of course, you know, they're taking this very slowly. Want to dot the I's and cross the T's first. Scarlet Pearl leading the charge in the mid lane, making sure the wave gets up to give them a good amount of priority, and now they're still sitting their sights onto the Baron buff, like you mentioned.
Yep.
Maybe not the best choice, but there is still a good bit of distance between ITE, College Central, and NYP on this Baron buff. I don't think they're really wise to this. Instead, they're going to collapse onto Kralix once more. And this should be a free objective being taken by NYP. Not really losing anything here in the grand scheme of things. In fact, managing to claim the Baron Asher for themselves. And possibly only going to lose an Inferno Drake to this objective take.
I'm not sure if that was like a conscious decision to not go for the Baron, because when half of NYP just disappears off the map, where else could they be really?
Right. That's wonder what's in that bush, and you don't walk in, right? You just decide to just forfeit it, and with the wave pushing up in the top side, RSG, well, not RSG, NYP is going to claim the top inhibitor turret. Looking to bang down onto the Nexus, or not Nexus, inhibitor itself now is the NYP squad, 4 members strong, jumping in, no, remove, you don't want to be there, buddy! Backing off now with the Glacial Fissure to disengage, and a lot of damage coming in still, but here comes Shuaran. He doesn't really look like the Aatrox that he's meant to be. Christ now getting the legendary kill, and the Bone Skewer not really finding any target, but it's going to be 3 members picked up, a double kill for Scarlet Petal, and now tunneling onto the Nexus turrets are NYP.
Yeah, you could see that they tried to focus on the Lucian, but they just could not get the damage down as they try to finish the game. It's just KDAs at this point.
Yeah, they're just padding their KDAs, looking to close this one out. And NYP now 3-0 is the record for today, and they've been looking solid so far as they approach the next stage. Well, not next stage, but the next game of the tournament.
Yeah, take a look at that Pyke. 10-0-8.
Yeah, just hold on this, because just look at the items as well. Jeez, he has more items than the Lucian.
Look at the deficit. Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, NYP have an extremely dominant performance in our first game for today on stream. We'd like to remind our viewers that so far they are up 3-0 in terms of the round robin, so they're looking extremely solid.
4-0.
Oh, 4-0?
Right.
This is the fourth game, so they are 4-0 right now. And undefeated, extremely dominant, and NYP are the team to beat as we move on in Campus Legends.
Yep, ITECC 2-2 after starting 2-0. Cannot be very happy with that, but what can you do? Just go back, reset, and hopefully you win your next few games.
This is the part where you sit down and say, well, I don't think that Remove had the best game. So, as a team, we have to start thinking about, you know, is it the pick itself? Is it how we're playing this out as 5 members? How are we going to move forward? Because 2-2 is still a place where you can climb back in. It's not 0-4, like, okay, guys, we're done. Let's go for like a lunch or something, right? So, they have to sit down, they have to talk this one through and decide where they want to move or how they want to move forward.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Sejuani specifically. Like, I did bring attention to the pick, but I think some of the decision making coming in from the jungler is a little questionable. If they're able to tune that up, I think they might still have a fighting chance.
Of course. So with that, guys, we will be going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's going to be a next set of games brought to you by us, of course, and stick around. We'll be right back.